Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. And today I am doing some more Galaxy's Edge talk. And what I'm going to do for today is I'm going to review the Rise of Resistance ride. So Rise of Resistance opened 5 days before I went, and I went last Thursday, or I went last Wednesday is technically when I got down there. And Thursday, well, sorry, let me go back a little bit. This ride was so packed that you have to get on the Disney app. You have to go and see if you can join a boarding group. A boarding group obviously is, where you're able to get on. And the first day we were there, which was Thursday of last week, we didn't get one because they were sold out. Well, they started giving out boarding groups, or people on their phones, you were able to access them and get them, was at 9 o'clock, and they sold out in 45 seconds that day. It was crazy and insane. But some people were even like hacking the Disney app so then they could get a boarding group, which obviously I didn't do, but that's how much people wanted to get on the ride. And the Friday, the next day, we thought at 9 o'clock, right, we would go, they would start getting boarding groups. But the thing is, I didn't go down with my dad because I slept. Never mind, I slept in. And one of my friend's moms texted and said, "Did you know they're giving out boarding groups at 8:30?" And it was like 9:30 that day. And so I quickly called my dad and said, "Hey, you can get a boarding group." And he didn't get one, but my uncle did, and we were all like kind of a group, so we were all doing stuff together. And my dad said that he would give up his ticket for me, but he was able to go, and a couple others were, because we had to do a switchback, which allows you to get like extra tickets. It's complicated, but we ended up getting it, and I went on it that day. So enough telling about what happened before. Let's get into the ride. And another thing, spoiler alert, spoilers for this ride are ahead. So if you are planning to go to Disneyland anytime soon, or you don't want to know what's in this ride, then I suggest you turn away now. You'll have 5 seconds to turn away, and also 5 seconds to subscribe. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hope you hit that back button if you don't want to hear anything. And those of you that are still with me, let's get into it. So you start in the lines, you start walking through tunnels that the Resistance has dug underground. And you can hear stormtroopers like walking above you, and as soon as you get into the actual showroom, you go into the room and the doors close, and BB-8 is there, and BB-8's not here in the game. BB-8 starts talking and beeping, and then it says there's a transmission from Rey. And it is the most insane technology ever. It's the hologram Rey, and she starts talking, saying, you're joining the cause, and blah, 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 da, da. Anyway, the doors open to a spaceship that you go in to get on, and that's where there's an animatronic dude, I don't know his name, flying the ship around, and it shows, like Poe X-Wings flying around, and you get sucked into a Star Destroyer where they capture you, and then the doors open up into this giant room with 50 animatronic stormtroopers, and you're just like, wow. And you can see like space behind you, and like TIE fighters flying around in the background, and it's amazing. And some of the Imperial officers get you into your lines for the ride, and they treat this thing like it's real. Like someone said, like, you get in these lines of like blue, orange, gray, or red or something, and there's 2 gray lines, and she says, "Gray, go into your prison cell." And then there's 2 grays, and it's like, "Oh, are we going?" And she goes, "Shut up, I'm not talking to you." I'm like, wow. And then you get, anyway, back to the ride. you get put in your prison cell where you're greeted with Kylo Ren, who pretty much forces the life out of you to get information of a secret base on a planet called Pakara. And then he leaves, and the Resistance breaks you out of your prison cell. And that is where you get on the actual ride. And soon you start going through a couple of rooms where you encounter other, like on the cart there is a R5 unit, and he says it's a prisoner transfer, and then they try and get you to, well, Finn tells you what to do and stuff on a screen, and you're trying to get down to escape pods. And you go to the area where there's stormtroopers, and they actually start blasting at you. It's insane. You can feel the heat of every shot, and then you try and get an alternate route to the escape pods, and that's where you're meted with 60-foot, real-life-sized AT-AT walkers. And then he says, just go below us when you hook onto an elevator, and you go up right to where the cannons of the AT-AT are, and you start spinning around, they're firing at you, and craziness. And then you go into the lead area on the Star Destroyer. That's where Kylo Ren sees you and starts chasing you down. And he starts walking through a tunnel, like, to get to you, and then the doors close. And then you hear a couple rumbling sounds, and then he turns on his lightsaber, and he stabs it through the ceiling. And he starts cutting a hole to get inside of the room you're in. So you back out of that room in your little car thingy, which is also a trackless cart, and you start going to these big cannons, and you can also feel the heat of them, and it's really loud. And then you go into a room where you're about to get on the escape pods when Kylo Ren uses the Force, tries to suck the information out of you. When a TIE fighter crashes and breaks the Star Destroyer, and he gets sucked down into space, and there's like a lot of air blowing, and it kind of hurts a little. And then you finally get to your escape pod area, and the door locks, and it's kind of like a Tower of Terror, but not 200 feet. It's only about 60 feet, and it kind of like goes down the track thing when it drops you, and it shows you going through space down on an escape pod, and then you crash down to the planet again. And that's kind of where the ride ends. You go around a little bit, and you get off, save the day once again. So that's kind of what happens in the ride. And it's about an hour long. It's a really long ride, but it's so fun, and I was able to ride it 3 times, because on Tuesday my family got an extra pass, and they invited me to go with them and use it, so I got to go on it 3 times. So that was pretty cool. Well, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.